What's up? What's going on? We're back again, but it's just me. Not sure what's going on, but we're going to try it anyway. So I think it's time to talk about the game that just finished only yesterday after Championship Sunday is the 49ers and the Green Bay Packers, where the Niners really didn't have any problems with the Packers. Finished 37-20. At one stage, I'm sure the score was 27-0, if I remember correctly. Rodgers had it going for a good while. He had 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. One of those picks was very late in the game, a Hail Mary pass, which Sherman just read, wide open passes, wasn't that hard to get. And the running game never got going, only 60 yards in the game, which is what hasn't been the way it's been going for them lately. It's been kind of Rodgers and Jones working off each other, Jones is catching passes, Jones doing well out the backfield. But it didn't seem to get going whatsoever. The defense started off strong the first 1 or 2 drives, but then after that it was the Mostert show. Mostert finished the game with 220 yards and 29 attempts. But altogether, the team finished with 285 yards rushing. And that's a lot. It's not really a lot because the team on the season, obviously, they finished with 3 rushers with over 500 yards. Mother of God. But so it's not, the whole season hasn't been much about the pass game anyway. Like you still saw there's a sweep from Deebo Samuel losing his speed, Kyle Shannon just doing what he needed. And the fact that I can't remember the last time I saw a team, especially in the playoffs, win dominantly with their quarterback only attempting 8 passes for 6 and 77 yards. Which, for me, is where this conversation kind of gets started, where I kind of wanted to go with it, is everyone, the whole year round, the whole question around the Niners has been, which is weird from when they gave him his money, is Jimmy Garoppolo the guy they need? Is he the quarterback that they thought he'd be coming from the Patriots and the Bill Belichick tree? Well, he finished the season with 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and almost 4,000 yards. But he's still got these games where he mightn't even throw a touchdown, it might be 1 touchdown. A lot of games he had, not a lot of games, but 3 or 4 games he finished with more picks than he had touchdowns in a game. But they still, and so that led people to really say that the defense held him up, that the running game held him up. But I think when it comes to him, I think he has the talent of where he can, I think he could go for 4,500 yards, whatever it is the season, have 30 touchdowns, less interceptions. But I think it just came to a sense where it was growing pains first of all. It's his first real season it's his first full season starting for the Niners or anyone in general, because the Patriots only started 2 or 3 games and he's been injured for a lot of his stint here. But like for a guy who's on a 5-year, $137 million contract, I can see why people are getting annoyed at him, and not even annoyed. It's not like I've never seen a Niner fan complain about him since maybe week 6 or 7, because he's what they need. Like their offense is not simple. They're going to do these trick plays. You're not going to know if it's going to be a pass or if it's going to be a run. They're not going to be these. He's not going to have. He's only doing 2 or 3 step dropbacks. He doesn't have to read the defense for that long. All these plays are quick, get it off. RPO is going to get it to where it's supposed to go, and that's it. So for me, I think he's the right guy for what they have, and I think he's fit the run game as much as the run games fit him, if that makes absolutely any sense. But like seeing him yesterday, not a lot of quarterbacks can have a small enough ego to be being paid that much money, being in the NFC Championship game and attempting 8 passes. 8 passes. It's just, the quarterback is the most alienated position in all of sports. It's the most important in the game of football. It has been since the beginning of time, beginning of football. But it's hard to understand whether or not he's worth it. And for me, I think he is. And yesterday, and all season long, I think he's proved it. I've been on his side since he's been there. It's not a whole Patriots bias. I just seen that around that team, you have Deebo Samuel, you have Emmanuel Sanders, who just got there, this is now his 3rd Super Bowl he's gone to. His 3rd. People need to talk about it, that's his 3rd. But like they've had Deebo Samuel who got rookie. They have obviously George Kittle. But even like when you look at George Kittle, he is arguably the best tight end in the game. Plays a wide receiver a lot of the time. But like seeing him, he's another way of showing that how the offense isn't a simple or normal offense. He's very, like back when Gronkowski last season, who a lot of people, especially fantasy owners, were annoyed at how Gronkowski wasn't getting all these big stats like all the seasons beforehand. But like Kittle is doing his job. He said it, like Kyle Shannon said it in a press conference. He's never had a problem with Kittle coming up to him and saying, I need more passes, I need to get involved more, I need more stats. Kittle is as dominant at wide out and tight end as he is as a blocker. And that's where I think this offense and his team that's why they're so good, is the fact they have these guys like Sanders and Kittle and Garoppolo who know their place and know that I'm not going to get all these stats. I'm not going to win all these awards like MVP and Offensive Player of the Year and all these kind of things. They're there to win games and to win football games. And it's this system that Kyle Shanahan has built there that obviously took 1, 2 or 3 years to get it. But it's just, they're a very winning organisation for what you can see, the way the players act, the way they go around. Their defence obviously, again, was dominant enough yesterday where they gave up a lot of yards passing, like obviously over nearly 400 yards. But they stopped the run game, which is where the Packers have succeeded a lot this season, which was with swapping over with Jones, Jamal Williams the odd time. But it was very a Jones, Rodgers, Adams kind of season. And yesterday we didn't see, obviously Devontae Adams had, I think, 140 yards receiving on 9 receptions, and they were able to take advantage of that, where Bosa still came up, got a sack. Mosley did a lot from cornerback that I don't think he gets talked about enough. And they obviously 2 of the touchdowns were big touchdowns, but the Niners defense was able to shut them down. I think that's another thing that the offense plays off, which people aren't really used to seeing. And again, I think a lot of that stigma comes from the fact that the quarterback's one of the highest paid in the league, one of the highest players in the league. I think he's top 5 highest paid players in the league. It's actually the offense is feeding off the defense, which doesn't happen very often. It didn't work for the Patriots this season because that's a good option. Like, Brady hasn't played this well this year, but he's Brady, so he could get the stick. He's getting the stick for it anyway. But he's not playing that well, but the team was winning based off the defense, which is what the Niners, their offense has been better than the Patriots, a lot better than the Patriots. It's not even close this season. But it's just the fact Jimmy Garoppolo has taken all the stick, still finished with almost 4,000 yards. But the thing people don't understand the most is the team needs to win, and that's what matters in football, is winning a football game. So for me, obviously it's a lot of money to give to a quarterback, but he's only been in the league 5 years. He still has a long way to go. He still has, I think, 3 more years left in his contract. And I think, obviously this year, they're very likely to win the Super Bowl this year when it comes up against the Chiefs. That defense seems to be like, it's been the best defense all year round. Obviously, I had the argument earlier on the year that the Patriots were the best, but obviously that sizzled out once the game started getting tougher and the offense struggled more, which made the defense have to play more, which is what the defense of the Niners is taking advantage of the fact that their offense is doing well, that they're scoring the ball. Like when you see, like yesterday, they averaged almost 7 yards a carry against the Packers, which is not normal. The Packers have been decent. I always thought during the year that's been very DB heavy, but like Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith got nowhere near Garoppolo most of the game. I don't think they got a sack. They got 1 sack during the game, and the DBs couldn't keep. I think it was an hour and a half at one stage they went without Garoppolo throwing a pass. That's unheard of in the 2019-2020 season, even the last 3 or 4 years, especially with the likes of Mahomes and all these guys coming up. And that's what I appreciate most about Kyle Shanahan, is that they were able to do his offense. They never forced anything, which is what the issue I saw with Tannehill and the Titans game yesterday as well against the Chiefs, was that they still, like, Henry had a good first half. He had over 60 yards on 12 carries, and then he finished the game with something like 7 or 8 yards on top of that, but he didn't have that many carries. He's like his last 3 games where he's been dominant nearly over 200 yards every game. He's been getting 25, 30, he's been going over 30 carries every game. And they went away from that yesterday. They gave Tannehill more of the option. And obviously, I'm going off the topic here, but the Chiefs boxed, they stacked the box, as they say. So it looked like Henry didn't have a lot of room. But I think with that kind of game, they went away from their game plan, which is why they didn't have a hope once this second quarter came into it, which is what the Niners haven't done. All season round, he's attempting 30 passes a game, which is kind of normal. He's at like something like 69% completion rate a game for Garoppolo this season, which is good, which is very good. That's 20 or 30 passes getting a game about. So like, it's not, and they didn't go away from that yesterday. They ran the ball. Mostert who I think needs to be talked about a lot. I'm not going to jump this bandwagon everyone's saying about him, but like, yesterday he needs to get the props for having an historic day. 220 yards and 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game is ridiculous. Like, it's hard to understand how he's been dropped all these years, but like, just this season they've had him They have Tevin Coleman, they have Matt Breida, even Wilson Jr. at one stage was doing well. Like, they have all these weapons. Deebo Samuel had, I think, 100 something yards a season, but still like 3 touchdowns rushing. Like, it's just, when you watch, they're the most pleasing to watch them play, because you don't know what they're going to do, but you do know what they're going to do, because they stick to what they do. They're a rushing team. They know that their strength is rushing. Like, it's just, the whole team works as a unison no matter what the kind of play is. So Garoppolo can have 6 completions in an entire game, and then, but the rushing attack is 285 yards, because their defense is going to put them in a good position, like they did yesterday a lot of the time. And the running game just like the offensive line pulls the right way. They know everyone does everything at the right time. Even Sanders said yesterday he knew he didn't get much of the ball, so he said, I'm going to be a bully. That's what George Kittle is majority of the time, is a bully, whether it's on the line of scrimmage or whether it's in the passing game. It's just this whole idea of team and winning. Like, they're in the Super Bowl now. They were 3-13 last season off the top of my head, and they're in the Super Bowl the year after. And that's with the same quarterback, more or less exactly the same squad, bar Nick Bosa's and Fred Warner's of the world coming up and really stepping up. Nick Bosa is arguably one of the best seasons for an edge defender rookie. So like, it's just, everything's turning out well for them, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo deserves some sort of congratulations for how he's done this season, how he's reined himself in like a lot of quarterbacks couldn't. He's been, while the Lamar Jacksons of the world are blowing up all the stats, and Mahomes is every season, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, all these big guys and big play guys, Jimmy Garoppolo is standing in the pocket, putting in the passes where he needs to, setting up the run plays, doing what he needs to do. And I think that's exactly what they've needed, and it's worked perfectly for them all season. And I think he is the guy for the future for them, because he has the talent, he has the arm. It took growing pains this year because of the injury he came back from in pre-season, all the stick he gets. He has to tune himself out a lot from what people are saying, and he has, and they've won games. And now they went 13-3 in the season. They're 2-0 in the playoffs. They're into the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, which is a very winnable game for him in that offense. Despite the Chiefs' defense coming up, I still think the Niners are the favourites to win this game. So yeah, for me, Jimmy Garoppolo's worth the money. 5 years, $137 million contract, and in a Super Bowl, his first real starting season. So props to Jimmy, props to Kyle Shannon, props to the defense, props to all of them. The Niners are amazing to watch, and you can't really get away from that with this game. So that's all from me, boys. If you want to see more stuff by myself or by Luke by himself, just let us know in the comments. Give us the likes, give us the views, subscribe maybe, because there's only been 10 of you, but we're getting a lot better from the views lately. So thank you for all your support, and follow the Twitter, be in the description, and see you guys later. Peace out.